Self, Infinite Cosmos, Ohana, Soul Dr. Nick here. It is, what day is it? I don't even know. I think it's Thursday morning, September 4th, 2025. We just landed in Hong Kong, China, last night around 7 p.m. after flying 12 and a half hours from Vancouver. Not the easiest flight, but not the hardest. And now found myself in an outdoor green space early in the morning, which is really good. No idea what district I'm in, all that other crazy stuff. And just want to create a little video just to remind myself how much has changed in a week and a half, like 10 days, 4 full day immersive ceremonies, including one for myself. Lots of work with some amazing clients who'd flown in, who'd had near-death experiences, who really were there making profound changes for themselves, and in so doing, helping myself to see the profound changes too. Getting ready to travel for the first time internationally like this in almost a decade. The last time was really, I think, 2016 that we did something this big. And being with family this time. Meeting up with family. It was so good to see family at the airport. So good to travel with my beloved, my son, the in-laws, and just taking it one step at a time. And then as well, amongst all of this, preparing for some future clients, a dear friend whose mother has got a recent diagnosis, and completing soon with a client that I've had for a little while, and how to do that in the best way and integrity, and working with my team. And so it's just, there's so many things swirling. So let's just lay that foundation first. And then it's noticing that every ceremony, it seems like there's important work to clear at the beginning, there's journeys to be had, and then there's important work about 2/3 of the way through that's like, do we actually engage with this? Because everyone's going to be kind of happy if we don't deal with it, and this is probably the biggest piece if we actually deal with it. And so just noticing that and how to bring that more and more into the forefront so it doesn't have to feel like it's a last minute thing. And also recognizing it's part of the process, because everything else helps to loosen it up, so to speak, to bring it to the forefront. And perhaps that's to take a look at this. Like, what is it that we've all done to loosen things up, to bring things to the forefront, to trust that process? And that's probably the piece. Like, it's not, and make that a choice, I guess, especially in the integration part. It's to make that a choice. Hey, we're not just integrating on a previous thing. It could be a whole new thing that comes up, that pops up, that's super challenging, and that's okay if that's the case, if that's what they choose. So I'm just gathering my marbles before I speak to a client about that, because I'm just looking, how do I want this to go? How do I want this life to go? Looking at all these shiny glass buildings, contrasted with these older buildings which have all these old air conditioning units, and everything smells a little bit mildewy inside and just a little bit not so clean. And I'm really grateful there's this relatively large green open space that I can walk on right now. I'm not putting my feet on the earth right now just because I don't know what to expect. And it's good to be near some real vegetation as well. It's so easy to get lost in all. And yesterday I got to read some of the comments people have made who've been through some of the work recently, and just really heartwarming reminder of the power and the potency. And it's important for me to keep reading it to let that part sink in as well, because that's part of the patterning that I've grown up with. It's like just poo-pooing all the things that are happening and then trying to tackle the next quote-unquote problem. The next thing needs to be fixed, the next thing's broken. The next thing is things I'm not enough of, taking responsibility for it, just all that stuff. And that's part of it. Is my beloved reminding me, it's like, you're a leader. Even hearing her, like, you're a leader, you know, you're really good sometimes at taking ownership, responsibility of things, but you're forgetting, how do I actually hold other people accountable too? And part of it for me, the secret slippery slope is, if I hold them accountable, they'll hold me even more accountable. And then the other piece is her support. She's like, yeah, like, you need an assistant for some of this stuff. And just recognizing that her seeing that and advocating for it is such a shift for us already. And just being okay with noticing that and just starting there, right? It's not jumping into it going, let's get one right away. It's like, okay, how might I do this better? How might I do all of these things better? And then, yeah, we've got a situation coming up with a dear friend whose mom recently got diagnosed with cancer, and there's a lot of love there. So how do we actually bridge the message of the generations of coming into a space where we can meet someone where they're at and they can see what's possible, because they already have the insight that they don't want to go the conventional route. So what possible insights do we have in the unconventional route? And let's start dropping some of that choice and wisdom into the lap of my friend. What would I do? And that's probably what I'm going to start to explore. That's probably what I'm going to explore and make a learning from this. Yeah. And that's part of the gift of doing this work. Every time I'm with someone, I'm looking and going, how do I want to approach this? So if I was a son of someone who's, and my mom, let's say, has cancer, how do I want to approach it? If I have kids who aren't speaking to me and I've created my life in that way, how do I want to approach it? And not make myself above or below it, but actually be in it as well. And in this way, I get to live so many different lives, so many different journeys, so many different challenges. And then it helps give clarity to mind, because there's still a piece yesterday when I was flying and I was like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I in all this? And it was getting lost in that. It was almost like, it's so funny that we can think, I've got all these possessions, I own all this stuff, I'm worth all this stuff. And in that moment I realized I'm just a being in a metal tube flying through the sky who's gotten all these stories and it's feeling a little lost, a little tired, not quite sure. And can I be with all of that and not try to fix it and not try to be more than or less than, and realize it keeps coming back to that. Like even in the moments when I get to the point where I've quote unquote figured out so much stuff and flying private, let's say, and having assistants and team and creating great work and everything's flowing, every moment it can change. And then the other thing is, we saw some the other day and their friend is, or family member is, you know, very public facing, doing lots of amazing work, all this stuff. And I can't imagine having that kind of dependent team on me at that point and thinking, oh my God, and because she's just about to give birth, and it's like, I want to be able to have like this life and let everything else go when I want to. So how do I create the freedom and the flow and the flexibility? And I don't know all that stuff yet. So I'm working, I'm learning, I'm moving with, and I'm doing really good work, and I know we're going to find some more champions to really champion this work soon. So let's keep stepping into it further and further and further. Thank you to my beloved family. Thank you to all the guides that have really been showing up in the last few ceremonies as well. Christ Consciousness, Magdi. Thank you for all my team, my founding team, and the people in my life who've been calling me forward as well. And I'm excited for what this day and this adventure is going to bring. Ciao for now.